Hey everybody, it's been a while. I'm Josh with BlockRoots. Always good to have you. On behalf of Kenner and Clark, we just want to welcome you. If you've not yet subscribed to the channel, please do so below. Just click the red subscribe button. If you do that, become a member of the community, as well as leave a comment. We always try to draw $100 of Bitcoin each and every week. And so if you want to be in that drawing, just leave a comment and engage with us. And so on this weekend's video, we're actually going to talk about the current price action for Bitcoin. Is it time for a pullback, or is Bitcoin going to continue to push up? We'll look at the stock market as well. We'll look at that chart because it is important to pay attention to that, and it does still impact the price of Bitcoin at this time as far as correlation. Now, we'll also look at a few key levels, and we'll talk about shorting Bitcoin and why it's actually profitable and when the time is right to short Bitcoin. We'll also give away $100 of Bitcoin today in today's video. It's been a week or so since we've done that, so we want to go ahead and do that as well. So let's go ahead. Nothing is financial advice. We'll get started as we look here at the Bitcoin chart over the past 1.5 years. You know, it's been a real beauty as far as the volatility, lots of ups and downs, lots of opportunities to be taken both long and short, as we have recently dropped to 3K in the past couple of months, and then we found ourselves up around 94.81 for a high, have since pulled back, and here we are just going sideways right now. Now, yesterday I did make a quick 2-minute video on Twitter because Twitter only allows you to make up to around 2 to 2.5 minute videos. I did explain the levels that I'm currently watching. So what we'll do is we'll quickly zoom in here, look at the daily chart, we'll look at the current resistance level overhead and the current support that I've already marked out in these gray boxes, okay? And so these act as horizontal levels that have held as support and resistance in the past, and Bitcoin is currently respecting these key levels. So after a 23% increase over the past couple of days, back on April 29th and April 30th, we can only expect Bitcoin to range here, to take kind of a rest after pushing up, 23% from 7,700 up to almost 9,500. So that's a big push. And so typically on the weekends, we can expect a lot of chop and a lot of ranging. As I always say for myself, trading on Saturdays is typically for scalpers and for day traders as well, as you can make some nice profits, but in the end, at the same time, you'll get chopped up if you don't know what you're doing, if you don't get in and out. And so I tend to take Saturdays off and enjoy. Today, I'm going to go on a bike ride with my family. Again, enjoy that. And, it's not like I'm going to come at the end of the day and look at the chart and say, oh, wow, I've missed a big opportunity here. As Kenner and Clark always says, if you miss one trade, if you miss one move, you didn't miss a train to financial freedom, okay? It's not a big deal. As you can see here, people who missed this move down, who didn't short, are probably like, oh, I missed so much. Well, what you had to do at the bottom here is just long or buy some Bitcoin, and you'd be up quite a bit again. So with that said, don't worry about it if you're not trading on the weekend. If you do like to trade, again, Sunday tends to be the better day as we get to the weekly close, as the S&P 500 futures open up. We tend to see a little bit more volatility, okay? So as far as that goes, the two price points that you want to watch, okay, are around 9,500. Okay, that's the resistance area right there. Now, if this breaks, I'm going to look at around 10,300. I'm going to go ahead and mark that here, because what that is the top of the close there from the recent high, okay, back in February. And so if we can see Bitcoin close above this range in the gray box, it'll likely move up here to around 10,369. Maybe retest that. If it rejects off that, or if it closes lower, if it doesn't quite reach that area, then again, we're going to see a lower high in the macro trend, and we can expect maybe a pullback. There's so much to watch. If it does break above that and close, that would definitely be bullish. But again, you want to take it level by level. So I'm going to watch that area. Now, as far as the support here, if you zoom in, you're going to notice that Bitcoin pushed up, especially if we go to the 4-hour chart. Right? Bitcoin pushed up here, came back down, rejected off this level, and it's been going sideways. So again, this is holding pretty well as far as support goes. But if you want to watch an area as far as that goes, I'm going to draw another line down here And this is the area that has acted as support, resistance, support again, support, and again, resistance for a while. It rejected off here, it rejected a couple of times, and it finally broke through to hit that 23% increase. So again, if we see price break below 8,400, I'm going to be looking at around 7,800 as a potential place to buy a bounce. It may bounce before that. Again, I say that only because price tends to front run a lot of people. So if everybody's watching 7,800, watch potentially for it to wick right before it and then move on up. And if it goes back up here around 8,400, rejects off that and then moves back down, then that would be a bearish. But if it goes back up and just continues on up, and after retesting this area, I would say that that's probably a good sign. So this is your main area to play with right here, right? This is the main range. I mean, you're looking at $3,000 range here, and so within that, play it level by level. Now, as far as shorting goes, right? People have been asking me about shorting. Where do I short Bitcoin, and why would I want to short Bitcoin overall? So if you haven't looked yet, Plan B has actually had some controversial comments on this and talking about having beef with people who have shorted. And so he talked about shorting, how he doesn't think people should short. And here he even says, I'll explain, nothing against shorting in general, but shorting Bitcoin is different. Okay, if you're a miner, future selling, future mining rewards, okay, but if you hold Bitcoin and you collect contango premium with carry trade, but naked short, in my opinion, not wise with Bitcoin asymmetric returns. Now, he is very, very correct as far as the long-term chart for Bitcoin. If I go ahead and look, and if we go to the weekly right, and then we zoom out, you've got asymmetric returns. Of course, if you look on the Brave New Coin Liquid Index, you can see all the way back to like 2011. And so long term, Bitcoin has been asymmetric, has been great. But if you zoom into 2017 at the all-time high, and then to here to now, over the past 3 years, what do you see? And I tell you what you see is that you see a lot of darn good opportunities to short Bitcoin, meaning that trading it, the probability is going to go down, and at the same time you're actually making more Bitcoin as the price goes down if you're shorting it. So we basically saw a whole year with price going down on the trend, on the macro trend, with a few good ups in between now, right? With every trend there's ups and downs, and so even with downtrends, right, like right here from the June July high, all the way down to the low of 3K, we saw a lot of uptrends, especially the one from 6K to 10K. A lot of people made some really good money at that time. And even recently, we saw from 3K all the way up to 9K. And again, Bitcoin could go back down, but if you are shorting the whole way up here, you are definitely hurting, right? So with any trend, you see ups and downs. I'm just saying, overall, there's a lot of potential to short and make money. So it's a win-win. Even if you believe that Bitcoin holds a long-term value, which we do, BlockRoots, Cantor and Clark and I do, but you still stack more Bitcoin and money while price is going down if you're shorting. And so, which you can then hold for the long term. And so I've told you this plenty of times before, if you're going to go and you're going to trade, margin trade, whether you're short or long Bitcoin, you need to go to Phemex.trade. And again, this is a derivatives platform. It's a little bit newer. It's by far the fastest because the people who developed it developed institutional trading platforms for Morgan Stanley. Okay, so they're very professional. It's got good volume, top 5 derivatives platforms right now. It's all been verified by a third party. All right, and it gives you the ability to go sell short or buy long, whatever you want to do, not only with Bitcoin, but also too with Ethereum, XRP, Link, Tezos, Litecoin, and now even gold, right? So with that said, Phemex is also going to come out with some good quality products soon for even people who don't like to margin trade. So a lot of new products out there for you guys who are even holders. So that's all I'm going to say. Just pay attention to that. And I would say over time, it's going to increase in popularity. So I would say go ahead if you have not yet made an account there. As far as Phemex.trade, I would encourage you to go ahead and sign up and be one of the first people on the list when new products come out for Phemex. And so And if you don't know how to trade as far as margin trading, make sure to look and watch our videos that we have on BlockRoots here on the channel. I'll go ahead and put some of those below in the notes that you can pay attention to that and learn a little bit more. We've had some live tutorials as well that last around an hour and a half. It's a lot of time to learn, but in the end, if you want to take advantage, the big thing is there's no get quick, rich, fast systems, right? You're not going to get rich fast. You have to take time to learn how to trade. And so we definitely encourage you to check those out. And but with that said, shorting Bitcoin doesn't mean that you hate Bitcoin, right? It just means that you're taking advantage of the market, because regardless if you want to go short or not, price is going to go down on occasion. And either you can make money while price goes down, or you can just sit there for weeks or months and just wait for price to go back up. So I think you should take advantage of it. If the opportunity presents itself, better yourself from it, okay? So now, why exactly would price go down from here? Now let's go ahead and go back to the chart. We'll go to the daily, okay? And we'll go ahead and we can put back those lines. So we go ahead and take those out, right? It's kind of a distraction there with the red, pink lines there. So as I said, 8,400 right here, right, is a key area to watch. And many are watching what you call the TD sequential indicator. It's been quite accurate for a while. So if you go to TradingView, you can actually find this. It's TD sequential. Okay, kind of confusing there. Lots of colors, very busy chart right now. But over the past couple of times, basically this indicator has shown possible signs of trend exhaustion, okay? And so when the indicator shows an 8th or 9th day, you're gonna see with these numbers, with these triangles up above it or below it, right, depending if it's bullish or bearish. But if there's been an 8th or 9th day, typically we can see potential trend direction change, okay? Overall, for at least for the short term. Not always, because you can't base everything on one indicator, but it sets up potential for you to take a trade and for a trend change, okay? If at least only for a few days. Now, the last two times that we saw Bitcoin have a TD9, okay, overall, you're gonna see these red candles right here. You're gonna notice that price pulled back around 10 to 12% both times over the course of the following few days. Now, currently price is up above the previous candle, okay? So even with this indicator, we can see price go up, maybe retest 9,500, 9,400, and then move back down. Again, this is not the end-all, be-all indicator, and a lot more people are paying attention to it now. It's something to pay attention to, but the bad thing is that if everybody's watching it, then it's very likely that it's not going to happen, right? Because again, self-fulfilling prophecy in the end. But with that said, just pay attention to this, and this could be one possible reason that we see, not this indicator, but just in general, that Bitcoin is exhausted, right? You're not going to base price off one indicator, but if Bitcoin is exhausted, which this indicator somewhat shows, then potential pullback. Now, you also want to pay attention to the stock market. Okay, now's the time to pay attention to this, because the S&P 500 has been pulling back over the course of the last week, okay? And before you tune out here and say, okay, I don't care about the stock market, I only care about Bitcoin, you have to understand that the price of the S&P 500, the price of the stock market has impacted Bitcoin, especially over the past, 4 to 5 months. And if we see a sell-off, right, we did see a price reject off this area at 29.54, everybody wanted 3K, right, with the S&P 500, and we certainly did not get that. But the area that I'm watching below is 27.27, okay? And so why I'm watching that is, as you see in the past, this has acted as a key place of support and resistance, especially back last year. We see that as a key support bounce, move up to 2,900 where it recently rejected off of, come back down to 27, bounce again, break above it. But in the end, that is a key area that I'm watching. And as you notice, back just a couple weeks ago, price also bounced off this key area before it went back up. Now, this is why I'm watching that, because if price were to break and close below this on higher time frames for the stock market, that would be then a lower low, which would somewhat be bearish overall for the trend of the stock market, which would likely impact Bitcoin. But as some people have pointed out, such as Charles Edwards, I would encourage you to follow Charles Edwards. He's great. He pointed out the decoupling here. I think much anticipated decoupling has finally begun. Here's his chart. But the problem with the chart is that it's, I think, the 4-hour chart. So it doesn't give us a lot of time. I really want to see more than just a few hours or just one day of a price change or, quote, decoupling from the S&P 500 in Bitcoin. And I even said that. I said, hey, I want to see more how Bitcoin reacts to the S&P 500 future open on Sunday. Bitcoin has looked a little toppy at 9,500 with that wick, but it's still holding support at 8,400. And hey, it's going to be a good determining factor. So overall, this is going to be a telling week to pay attention to for Bitcoin. If the stock market continues to pull back, but Bitcoin pushes above 9,500, then we can finally say, yes, there is a decoupling that's starting to happen as far as the correlation between stocks and Bitcoin. But overall, just pay attention to the S&P 500, the SPX. If you don't watch that, you can find it on TradingView. But that's really it. I think for this weekend's video. I think that really going back to it, you just want to watch. I'm going to take this off. But you want to watch these two key levels, 9,500, 8,400. If price breaks below, above, then look at 10,300 and 7,800 below. Trade accordingly, level by level. And let's go ahead and give away $100 of Bitcoin. If you've commented recently in the past video, we'll go ahead and draw that right now. BTC, count me in. Bernardo Sousa Pintarosa. Hey, congratulations. I'll go ahead and reply to your comment on the YouTube video, and then you can go ahead and leave a Bitcoin address, and I'll make sure to send that out to you this week. If you are interested in a $100 giveaway, just make sure that, like I said before, subscribe to our channel and leave a comment, engage in the video below. And then with that said, that's it for us from here at BlockRoots. So again, pay attention to Bitcoin here. If you want to short, check out Phemex.trade. Nothing wrong with shorting. Go ahead and feel free to check out the last my feed on Twitter here, as well as Cantor and Clark's, to be up to date with all the stuff that we talk about day by day with the Bitcoin market. With that said, I'm Josh with BlockRoots. Have a great weekend. Make sure to trade safe and effectively, and we'll see you guys soon.